on the go. Happy Tuesday. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and I know that this is typically not the day that I get on here, but unfortunately, last night I had some major technical issues, and I actually I ended up having my show on my personal page, which was crazy. I mean, it was great. It was a great show. I had a lot of people show up, and we had a great show, except for, unfortunately, it ended up that you guys didn't get to see it. So I decided to come back on here today and do an impromptu show on Lavender Essential Oil, because I had such a great response on my personal page. I think that all you guys need to see this show as well. So I'm here, and we are going to see how this goes on a Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. So basically, I'm going to, hold on a sec, I'm just trying to also, I'm always trying to get ready and do all this kind of stuff. So here we go. So if you are here, please say hello. I would love to know who's here and who's watching. I am going to be I decided that I'm going to do essential oil profiles. I'm not going to be doing them every week, but I'm not quite sure how often I'll do them. Maybe every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks. But if you want to be reminded of just our essential oil profiling shows, and make sure that you comment love down below, as in you love essential oils just like I do. So just make sure that you put that love down there, and I'll make sure that I put you on that reminder. So I can see Dave is here. Hello, Dave. I hope that you're having a beautiful day on this gray, rainy day. I don't know what's going on here. It's supposed to be still summer. I want summer weather. Okay, so but one thing that I have to do before we dive into talking about lavender essential oil is put a medical disclaimer on this one. This show, it's very important, is for informational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical disease. A lot of these statements have been evaluated by the FDA, and we are not making any medical claims by doing this show. And make sure that you see your healthcare provider before you add any kind of alternative modality to your health regime. Okay, so let's dive into lavender. Now, it's very important to understand that the common name that most of us know, lavender, is just lavender, but there are different Latin names because there's different species of it. Okay, so I am going to predominantly be discussing Lavandula angustifolia. Okay, but it's really important to realize that there are different types of lavender when you're going to get your essential oils. So there is another one, I may mutilate this name, Lavandula stoicheias, okay, which sometimes may be called Spanish lavender or French lavender. And then there is spike lavender, which is Lavandula latveola, okay? Now, the importance of knowing the Latin name is when you take an essential oil, okay? And I know that I've talked about this in previous shows, and I always talk about how hello, Fiona. I'm hoping that, I'm still going. For some reason, it just kind of stopped here. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. So it's important to realize that there are many what we call phytochemicals within a plant. And different chemical components do different things to our bodies and try to help. They have different medicinal properties, okay? So that's why it's important to know and I'm going to kind of talk about the phytochemicals of Lavandula angustifolia and a little bit of the other ones, but when you're looking for all of these medicinal properties that I'm going to be talking about when it comes to lavender, they only kind of pertain to Lavandula angustifolia because it has what we call the phytochemicals of linalool and little acetate. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more into that, but that is why it's very, very important when we're purchasing our essential oils that we actually we look at those Latin names and not just look at that common name, okay? So when we think about lavender essential oil, it has been around for centuries. It's been around for a very, very long time. Even back to the Egyptians, they used it for perfume and in their mummification process. The Romans used to cook with lavender. They would put it in their bath water. Probably, thank goodness, because I'm sure back in the Roman times, the scents were probably not that beautiful, but lavender it's the most widely used essential oil. It's the most researched, and it's been around for a very, very long time. So that's why it's my favorite for lots of reasons, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's been around for so long. We've been using it. We know so much about it, and I think that would be a great addition to anybody's home. When we come to women's health, there are like a handful of essential oils that I think that are great for women to have around the house, and I definitely think lavender is one of them. When you think of the scent, it's very floral. It's very sweet. I'm going to show you a picture. I went on to just Google, and I just did a search on lavender. I mean, look how beautiful lavender is. It's purple. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know. I absolutely love lavender. Okay. When we talk about the process, the way that this one is processed, I'm not going to go into the whole way of processing essential oils. I did that in my essential oil show, but the way that this one is they take the flower tops of the plant, and they steam and distill them. So that's important to know. Okay. Now, when we talk about the phytochemicals of it, okay, there's a whole bunch of them in there, but the two that are really prominent in, remember, Lavandula augustifolia is linalool and linalool acetate, okay? And it's really, really important when you go, and I always highly recommend people when they go to buy essential oils, it's really a good idea to make sure that the company does what we call GS and MS testing, gas spectrometry and mass spectrometry. The tongue twisters for me, okay? And basically what this testing does is they send it off to a lab, and the lab puts it, I don't know, in this little fancy machine, and what it does is it's able to extract what each phytochemical is in that plant and how much of a percentage of each of those are in there. And this is a really great way for people to even know if it's what we call adulterated. Adulterated means when we put something synthetic in it. You know, when we sneak a little, we can't put really the good stuff in there because that's going to cost us too much money, so we're going to slide in this chemical stuff, okay? So you want to make sure that when you are getting essential oils, that you are getting them from a company that actually does this testing. And there are lots of different websites, you know, that sell essential oils that actually provide those results. And I think that those are really important, because if you can see the results and they provide the results, then you know that they're actually doing it, and you know that you are getting a good quality essential oil. And if you go to a website and you're like, all right, I'm going to get myself some Lavandula augustifolia, you're going to know that when you look at that report, you're going to say, oh, look, I remember Lori telling me that linalool and linalool acetate should have the highest percentage, and look, it does. So that's a good way for you to know if it's a good essential oil. Okay, so when we take the two, the linalool, so linalool acetate, that's going to be some good, that's going to be calming. Those are going to definitely help with calming and anxiety issues. And then when you look at linalool, there was actually, if you do this research, I did it, I heard about this, and I'm like, all right, I gotta, me, I'm very, very into research. I want to see actual research that's actually been done. There has been some research with linalool, not necessarily lavender essential oil, but with the actual phytochemical component. And they found that it was cytotoxic. What is cytotoxic? If you think about toxic, no bueno, it's not very, very good, okay? And cyto cells, like cysts, cystic structures. So they had found that it was cytotoxic to certain cancer cells, which were, the cells that they were talking about were found in breast, colon, and liver cancer. So I'm not saying that it's going to cure those or anything like that, but there need to be more research in regard to that. Like if they're finding that that linalool is cytotoxic to these kind of cancer cells, to me, more research needs to be done on that. And I thought that was a very, very interesting, okay? And linalool is also going to give it that sweet, kind of that sweetness. I just love lavender. Just love, 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 love. Okay. Hey, Leah, how are you? Fiona, I'm glad to see you here. I know Fiona was watching last night on my other channel. I'm so glad to see that you're here as well today. Okay, next we're going to talk about safety, okay? Essential oil safety. To me, this is a big pet peeve of mine, and I'm kind of pretty serious about it, okay? Let me grab this big book. Okay. Essential oil safety, okay? This is a textbook. This is by Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young. Robert Tisserand, to me, is he's like the god of essential oils. He knows so much. It's incredible. And this is a book that deals with essential oil safety. Because if you think about it, and I've said this in other shows, we have to honor things like essential oils and herbs, okay? Because they have, I go through this whole thing about the pharmaceutical, the drugs, and the herbal medicine, and how this has a whole bunch of chemical components to help our bodies process it, where this is just only one component. So, and pharmaceuticals have come from plants, okay? So we have to honor the plants. We have to honor them and not just willy-nilly start taking them and doing them, because they can possibly interact with medications you're taking, or interact with either whether you have high blood pressure, or if you have diabetes or any other kind of medical condition, or if you're breastfeeding and you're pregnant. Some of them are contraindicated. So it's really important that we know the safety guidelines of it. So this is why I highly recommend, if you want to start putting essential oils into your daily life, into your regime, or if you want to help use it for a medical condition, that you speak to someone that's knowledgeable and has certifications. Like I have certifications. I have an essential oil consultation appointment if you so wanted. Just comment love below and you'll not only get a reminder, but you'll also get how if you wanted to make that consultation appointment. So let's talk about safety when it comes to lavender. Now I am going to talk about the other lavenders, and this is going to raise it, and you're going to see why, okay? Lavandula augustifolia, the one that we're prominently talking about today, there's really no contraindications. It's considered grass, which is generally safe. It's well tolerated. Now, they say that you can put it on neat on your skin, and when I talk about neat, that means that you can actually take the essential oil and just put it right on your skin, okay? Versus using a carrier oil, which is like coconut oil, olive oil, avocado. I mean, there's all the different kind of oil bases. Now, me, and I know of several people, if they put lavender on, maybe the first time they won't get a reaction, but if they keep putting it on, the skin will start getting red and it'll start getting itchy and irritated. And once you stop it, it may linger a little bit, but it's going to go away. Nothing really bad's going to happen. But that's why I typically kind of recommend people to use some kind of carrier oil, because of my personal and some other people's experience. Yes, people say that you can, to me, if I get a little cut, I'll put a drop on neat and I'll just, rub it in there, and then I really don't put it on there much after that. But if I have, such as, we're going to talk about things that you can use it for, if I have a bruise, I'm going to use a little bit of a carrier oil to put on there to help with that, okay, because I'm going to be putting it on more than just once, okay? So then let's go into Lavandula stochaius. I'm sure I'm mutilating that, and that would be the French or the Spanish lavender, okay? It's important to realize this and make sure that you don't get this, especially if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, because it's contraindicated in those situations. And that's because, remember when we were talking about the phytochemicals of Lavandula angustifolia? They have the linalool and linalool acetate in it. Well, those are not the prominent compounds in the French lavender. And it does have a little bit of the camphor in there. And camphor is camphor is contraindicated in breastfeeding and pregnancy. So you don't want to be using French or Spanish lavender if you are pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, okay? And then the spike lavender, which is the Lavandula latifolia. That's again has a little bit of, not as much, but it's got a little bit of that camphor in there. But for the most part, there's no contraindications in there just because of like the so low dose of the camphor in there. Okay. Hopefully that all makes sense so far. I hope everybody is still enjoying the show as we keep rolling along. Okay. Let's talk about, I'm going to go just break it down on emotional and then the therapeutic kind of properties that this is beneficial for. So as we know with lavender, I think everybody, I mean, I don't know, maybe other people have reactions to it, but it's calming, it's soothing, it encourages balance of the whole body. It's really, really good to just regroup and just cool and be calm and relaxing. Now the therapeutic kind of things are, there's lots of them. There's anti-inflammatory, there's antibacterial, there's airborne antimicrobial. I couldn't even think of the word. Airborne antimicrobial. It's like a CNS, a central nervous system sedative, and that's where you get the calming and the soothing kind of aspect for it. It is great for skin healing. Let's see what else have I gotten rid of. Then also antidepressant. So this has got a lot of great, wonderful properties to it, as you can see. Okay, but let's try to figure out what exactly can we use it for, okay? All right, we're doing good, everybody? I don't see, nighttime is so much of a better time to be having these shows. I realize that, but I definitely wanted to get on today, so hopefully people will be watching later. But just remember, if you want to get reminders of our show, make sure you comment a good love down below, okay? All right, so the medical, no, I don't want to say medical. Not the medical things. We don't want to talk about medical things. The things that lavender can be beneficial for. One, sleep. Okay? Remember, lavender is soothing, it's calming, it's central nervous system sedative. It's going to be great if you're having trouble sleeping or you just had a really busy kind of day. The mind is still really kind of going. You may want to use, now the way that you can use it are several ways, okay? One, I got mine going on right now. This is where you're probably seeing a little smoke come over here. Whoops. You can use your air diffuser, okay? You could put your little bit, mine has a little bit of distilled water in there and a couple of drops of essential oils. You can make different mixes, but you put that in there and you put it right by your bed and you just let it go. And this one goes for a couple of hours, so maybe put it there like, an hour before you go to bed. And let it start getting all in the air in the bedroom. And then when you go to sleep, just keep it going. You can make like a linen spray. Here we got see you got like a little bottle. It's a little spray bottle. And you just, spray. And you put like distilled water, a little bit of witch hazel in there, to just preserve it, and put your essential oils in there and just spray it on your pillow, spray it on your pajamas if you wear them, and that will help as well. Or you can just, here's like a little, you put your essential oil with your carrier oil in here. Remember, you're going to do like a little bit of carrier oil with your essential oils, and then you just put a little bit, squirt a little bit on you, and then just, rub it on your neck, put a little bit on your temples, maybe a little bit on your arms, and then you just have it on your body. Or you can even just you know, sometimes what I do is I take some coconut oil, I put like 2 drops of essential oil on there, I rub it, and I even just, I rub my, like if I'm had a rough day and my back is sore, my shoulders are sore, you know, I just rub it on my shoulders, I rub it on my back before I go to bed, I put it on my arms, I put a little bit on my temples, and it's just like all over your body. Remember, it's an anti-inflammatory, and it's also, like I said, a central nervous sedative. It's going to help calm you, it's going to soothe you. Any like inflammation or whatever was going on the other day is just going to help you it's going to bring that wholeness back into your body so you can have a restful sleep at night. Okay, let's see. Okay, we went over that. Lemon spray, diffuse. Awesome. Okay, anxiety, stress, depression. Okay, all of them. All right. So if you are really stressed at work, or if you have anxiety of kind of leaving the house, or anxiety about something that's going on at work, or you're just going through a sad time, one essential oil that you can use is lavender. Now, there's different ways that you can use lavender when you leave the home. They sell those, I got to get one because I would love to show you guys. They have, it's like a diffuser necklace, and you just have, it's like a little necklace, and you kind of, like, it has a little opening, it has a little pad inside, you put your essential oils in there, you close it, and you wear it, and like, it just keeps going up to you throughout the day. That's one great thing. Then we have inhalers. So this is a little inhaler. It comes with a top because you want to keep it on nice and tight so that the essential oils, the odors stay. The tighter you keep this, the longer it will last. So there's a little thing here. You pop it off. There's a little cotton swab in there thing. You put your essential oils in there, and then you just do it on each side. It's right into that limbic system, okay, and it's definitely helpful. So if you have, especially if you have like anxiety, like I'm at work and I have a big meeting that I'm going to have to go to and I'm really stressed and I have anxiety, I got to do some talking in this, in this meeting, just take this with you, and then right before, do this and just maybe close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and say, I can do this. But this will definitely help with that, okay? You can also, now this is a different essential oil that I use, but it's a great blend that I use. And it has like a little roller on it. Hopefully you can kind of see them. You can get those rollers that you can just pop on any container of essential oil, and then you can put it on your pulse points. You just kind of roll, and you see that this is a little dark essential oil, and you can rub it just like a little perfume. You can put it a little bit behind your ears, maybe like a little on your temple and stuff, and that way you can have it'll be on your skin. It's going to be getting absorbed into your skin, and then you're just gonna, like right now, like I have it on my wrist, and I just smell it. It smells wonderful. I love essential oils, if you can't tell, okay? Okay, you could even, for anxiety and stuff like that, if you're at work, if you have like a cubicle, you can get yourself a little diffuser. They have little tiny diffusers. They're really, really cute that you can get on your desk. Some of them are actually, this one's plugged in, but I do have a rechargeable one that I use that you can use as well. At the end of the day, you take a bath. And whether you use some essential oils in your bath, or you can even just get actually I should have brought that. I do have it in the other room, but I don't want to leave you guys here. So just to show you some nice lavender that I have, and you can put some of that in your bath water and just to help you relax. Ooh, I love lavender. Absolutely love it. Okay, so that's with anxiety and stress. A good mixture too with that. There's lots of different mixtures that you can do, but if you did lavender with lemon, that's another great mixture for like anxiety and stress relief and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I kind of talked about cuts and bruises. It is great for wound healing. It's good for skin soothing if you want. The great story with lavender oil was this French chemist. He was named, I have a French last name. I'm not really quite sure I'm going to pronounce this right. But it's like René Maurice Gavafosse. I know I just mutilated that. But anyway, he was a French chemist, and he was working in a perfumery way in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And unfortunately, there was like apparently, from what we can understand from his notes, he had like some kind of explosion in the lab, and he had some burns on his hands, and he decided that he was going to put some lavender oil on it. And he was amazed to see not only how fast it healed, it didn't get infected, and it didn't leave any scarring. And this was during the time when there was, he was actually working with the military, and he was trying to think about things of what they can use out in the field, because a lot of, bombs and stuff like that, the soldiers were losing limbs and stuff like that, and then they would actually get like gangrene and stuff like that, and they wanted to prevent those kind of infections, so he was trying to figure out how they can do that. So it's a very interesting story. It's very interesting history. It's very, very interesting. But that's how we know that lavender is great for wound healing from that. So it's been around for so long that we have known about its wound healing properties. So it can help with, like I said before, if I have a little bit of a bruise, I take a little bit of the carry oil and the lavender, and I put it on the bruise, and I do it a couple times a day, and I find that my bruises heal pretty quickly. If I have a cut, I put it a little bit, just a little like right on the cut, and it helps heal it as well. If you have a bug bite, remember, anti-inflammatory. Oh yeah, another thing that it helps with a little bit of pain relief. So it's got pain relief properties to it. So if you have a bug bite, if you have some acne, it's anti-inflammatory. It's very, very good. It's antibacterial. Very, very good for acne as well. Okay? One of my favorite things to do with it is a household cleaner. So I have this, I'm going to have to put, I got to remember to put this video, cleaner video. I make this, to me, I love amazing home house cleaner that I use, and it's basically using vinegar, orange peels, and lavender essential oil. I love it. It smells wonderful. I use it in my bathroom. I use it in my kitchen. It works amazing. I know a lot of people I've given the recipe to. They have it all throughout their house as well. They love it as well. So I'm going to put that video up there, because I'm not quite sure. I think it's on my website. Actually, it is on my website, but I'll find it and I'll put the link down below or up above, wherever you want to go, so that you can make it. It's so easy to make, and it lasts long, and it's so much cheaper, and it's so much healthier than putting that chemical stuff all in your house. Hello, Michelle. How are you? I hope all is well. I definitely hope everyone is well. And I see that Gloria is here as well. Hello, Gloria. Welcome to our show. I hope that you are definitely enjoying our show today. Okay, so homemade cleaner. I absolutely think it's so awesome. I absolutely love it. And headaches, it's great for headaches. If you take a little bit of lavender with a little peppermint. Peppermint, if you have a headache, I'm going to have to do peppermint one show, because I love peppermint. If you do a little bit of peppermint, if you put it on your head, oh, it's almost like numbing. It really, really helps with headaches. So definitely lavender with peppermint. Now, when we're going to talk a little bit, now I know that, we're always talking about women's health issues here. And yes, I think women's health issues is trouble sleeping at night. We definitely have trouble sleeping at night. We definitely have, we get anxiety, we get all of those kind of things. And we get cuts and bruises and all this kind of stuff there. And we have to clean, unfortunately. But a couple of little things of just aiming towards women's health. And they really kind of deal with postpartum. Remember, wound healing, beneficial wound healing. A great thing that this is actually can be used for, and it can be helpful, is with your episiotomy care. Now, what is an episiotomy for those who don't know? When we have a baby, let's just say the baby's head is a little bit bigger than your opening down there, sometimes the medical provider will actually make a cut between the bottom of the vagina and your backside to kind of open it up a little bit more. And unfortunately, then they have to stitch it up. And if you've been pregnant before and you've had a baby, you know that's a lot of work down there. And then you got cut, and then you've got stitches, and it's swollen, and it's tender, and it just doesn't feel the greatest thing in the world. So lavender essential oil can be helpful for healing, anti-inflammatory, and for pain relief. But if you're going to use that, again, I would definitely talk to your healthcare provider before doing it, and also making sure that you do it appropriately, because you don't want anything bad to happen to you down there. But that is something that it could definitely help with. And then there's people who actually do, I don't know what exactly they call it. I think it's like a vagina steam bath. So they actually will take herbs, and which you can also do with essential oils, and they'll boil a pot of water, and they'll put it in like a heat-resistant bowl, and they'll put the water in, they'll put either the herbs or the essential oils, and then they'll sit on like a seat that has like a hole in it, so like the steam, and they put a blanket over their waist, and it's like a steam that's just going up to the vaginal area, and even though it's just steam, you're still getting the health benefits. And I think that would be, if on your episiotomy area, that would be a great alternative to actually putting it directly on there, is just doing a vaginal steam bath. It's I remember I learned about that a long time ago, and it's definitely very interesting. It's a very, very cool concept, if you ask me. But anyway, that is something that you can totally do with. And then also for postpartum is, sometimes we have trouble sleeping at night, because we're busy, we have a new baby, the baby's up all night, all this kind of stuff. So sometimes lavender essential oil can be a little bit beneficial in helping you to relax. I would just be cautious if you have the baby in the room. If you're breastfeeding, all these you got to think of all of these things. I don't think that it's I would have to actually look it up, to be honest with you, when it comes to a newborn. I think it's very, very, very important that there's a lot of people out there that are selling essential oils, and they put on they're trying to sell them, and they tell these people to do these things with their babies, and I would be very cautious about that, because sometimes I have found people are putting things that are big no-nos for babies. Okay, if you think about it, they're so more sensitive. Their skin has not been developed just think of a baby's skin. It's like a baby's. It's just so soft, and not as well developed as us when we get older. And if you're putting essential oils on their skin and stuff like that, that can be a little bit more irritating. And so please, if you have a child or a baby, and you see someone that says, hey, use this essential oil with your baby, make sure that you speak to a qualified person who can either knows or can look. They have the resources, such as this big book, okay? Because you don't want to have your baby get really sensitive skin, or it kind of gives them a little burn red on the skin. People are telling people to put stuff in their mouth, baby's mouth, or having them drink. I think that you have to be very cautious. Are there essential oils that you can take orally? Yes. Are there some that you shouldn't? Yes. Should you be putting essential oils into your water every day? No. There's so much that we need to really be careful of when it comes to essential oils. Remember, honor them, okay? They are wonderful, and I'm so happy that more and more people are getting interested in using essential oils, using herbal medicine, being more holistic. I absolutely love it, but we have to honor it just like we honor going to the doctor and getting a prescription. We have to honor it. I always kind of say that. So, okay, so that's about it, everybody. Again, as you know, with all of my shows are all about opening your mind to something different and to give you a little bit of a introduction to something. And I'm really excited that I did this about lavender. I definitely want to keep doing different essential oils because I think that people really like them, but I want you to be educated about them. And I know this was just a brief introduction, but at least it's the first step. So again, if you want to be reminded of our future, only our shows that we're going to be doing with essential oils, then make sure you type in below, comment below, love. As in, I love essential oils because I know I love them, okay? So comment below, love, and I'll make sure that you be put on a reminder of when we're having our essential oil classes, shows. That's the word, shows. Also, if you want to get a consultation, I do consultations with essential oils, and if you hit love, you will get a link as well if you wanted to have a consultation and talk a little bit further about really getting into using essential oils in your life. So, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Thank you. I see Brenda. Thank you, Brenda, Michelle, Fiona, Leah, Dave. I think there was a Gloria here as well. So many people. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope that you enjoyed. And remember, women's health matters. Our bodies matter. So let's make sure we take care of ourselves. Reminder, I am going to be Labor Day on Monday. I'm taking the day off. But I will be back in 2 weeks. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about I think maybe some guidelines, or someone gave me a request and I gotta look up. And I think it's gonna be like screening guidelines for women because they keep changing. What are they? What are they not? So I think I'm gonna dive into that. I got a guest coming on again in a couple weeks, so it's all gonna be fun in September. So love to you all. Have a great day, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody.